Giorgia Meloni, Italy's prime minister since October 2022, has adopted a pragmatic approach toward both the BRICS group and the European Union, reflecting Italy's strategic position within the G7. By extending invitations to BRICS members such as Brazil, India, and the UAE, Meloni emphasizes Italy's commitment to fostering international cooperation and addressing global challenges through inclusive dialogue. At the 2024 G7 summit, she invited leaders from developing nations, including India, Algeria, Brazil, Jordan, Kenya, Morocco, Tunisia, Turkey, and the UAE. This initiative signals her dedication to broadening the perspectives of G7 discussions and recognizing the significant roles these nations play in the global economic and political landscape. While her actions might appear to distance these countries from BRICS, Meloni's primary aim is to challenge the European Union's perspectives and create opportunities for the Global South within the Western-dominated G7 framework. Her approach has sparked criticism from other G7 leaders, particularly French President Emmanuel Macron, who has expressed disapproval of her tactics. Meloni has been outspoken in her criticism of certain EU policies, especially the Union's bureaucratic nature. She advocates for more transparent and democratic processes, particularly regarding high-level EU appointments. One of her strategic goals is to position Italy as a key player in the African energy sector, particularly as a conduit for African gas and energy exports to Europe. To this end, she has committed $5.95 billion to establish Italy as a hub for energy distribution to European markets, partly in response to reduced energy imports from Russia due to the ongoing Ukraine conflict. Meloni's administration also prioritizes sustainable development, with 70% of Italy's climate fund allocated to Africa, reflecting her commitment to supporting growth and stability on the continent. Who is Giorgia Meloni? Giorgia Meloni was born on January 15, 1977 in Rome, Italy, and became Italy's first female prime minister in October 2022. She leads the Brothers of Italy, Fratelli d'Italia, FDI, a right-wing populist and nationalist party with roots in post-fascist political movements. Meloni's rise to power is part of her broader nationalist agenda, which emphasizes traditional values, national sovereignty, and a focus on Italy's interests. Political background and ideology. Meloni's political journey began in her youth with her involvement in the Italian social movement, MSI, a neo-fascist party founded after World War II. She later became a prominent figure in the National Alliance, which sought to distance itself from fascist associations. In 2012, Meloni co-founded the Brothers of Italy Party, aiming to build a national conservative platform. Her policies reflect strong conservative stances, particularly on social issues. She opposes issues like youth adoption and same-sex marriage, advocating instead for traditional family structures. Meloni is also known for her strong euroscepticism, criticizing EU policies and promoting greater national autonomy within the Union. However, she recognizes Italy's vital role within the EU and seeks a balance between pursuing nationalist goals and engaging with European partners. Evolving stance on immigration. Initially, Meloni's government adopted a hardline approach to immigration, restricting arrivals and expediting deportations. However, due to Italy's demographic challenges and labor shortages, her administration has recently shifted toward policies that facilitate legal migration to attract workers for sectors experiencing workforce deficits. This adjustment indicates a pragmatic response to Italy's economic needs. Recent developments and resignation from ECR leadership. In December 2024, Meloni resigned from her position as president of the European Conservatives and Reformists (ECR) party, a role she held since 2020. She cited her inability to devote enough time to the position due to her responsibilities as prime minister. She expressed support for Polish politician Mateusz Morawiecki as her potential successor. Tensions with the European Commission. Meloni has been a vocal critic of the European Commission, particularly its president, Ursula von der Leyen, especially on issues like migration and economic policies. Von der Leyen has attempted to gain favor with Meloni and her allies, but her efforts have been divisive. Meloni's coalition partner, Matteo Salvini, leader of the League Party, has also criticized von der Leyen's policies, particularly on the automotive sector. Salvini has called for a change in direction, and this dissatisfaction reflects broader tensions within Europe's right-wing factions. Despite these challenges, Meloni has stated that Italy can continue to work with von der Leyen, highlighting ongoing cooperation. The dynamic between Meloni's government and the EU underscores the complexities of national politics and the evolving role of Italy within the broader European framework. The relationship between China and Italy has undergone a remarkable evolution over the centuries, shifting from ancient cultural exchanges to becoming a robust modern economic partnership. The historical ties between the two countries can be traced back to ancient times, with significant milestones such as the travels of Marco Polo, the Venetian explorer. Marco Polo's journey to China in the 13th century played a crucial role in fostering early cultural and commercial exchanges between Europe and Asia. His accounts of the East sparked interest in Chinese goods and culture, setting the stage for centuries of interaction. However, it wasn't until much later that formal diplomatic relations between the two modern nations were established. On November 6, 1970, Italy officially recognized the People's Republic of China. This diplomatic move marked a turning point, encouraging other European countries to follow suit. The establishment of formal ties provided the foundation for deeper and more comprehensive exchanges, especially in the fields of trade, investment, and cultural cooperation. In recent decades, economic and trade relations between China and Italy have blossomed into a dynamic and mutually beneficial partnership. The bilateral trade volume reached an impressive $73.5 billion in 2022, with China exporting goods worth $56.1 billion to Italy and importing $17.4 billion worth of Italian products. This trade relationship has resulted in a trade surplus for China, underscoring the growing economic influence the country has on Italy. Among the primary exports from China to Italy are broadcasting equipment, valued at $4.63 billion, computers at $1.67 billion, and trunks and cases at $1.17 billion. On the other hand, Italy's main exports to China include packaged medicaments worth $1.36 billion, cars valued at $1.01 billion, and trunks and cases totaling $721 million. Over the past 5 years leading up to 2022, the growth rate of Chinese exports to Italy has been impressive, with an annualized increase of 11.9%. Meanwhile, Italian exports to China have grown at a more modest rate of 2.4% annually. These trends reflect the increasing integration of China into Italy's economic landscape and the challenges faced by Italian products in penetrating the vast Chinese market. A significant turning point in their economic relations came in 2019, when Italy became the first G7 nation to join China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, a global infrastructure development strategy aimed at enhancing trade and economic growth across Asia and beyond. This decision was controversial, particularly among Italy's allies, with the United States expressing concerns about the BRI as a tool for expanding China's geopolitical influence. Critics argued that the BRI could lead to Italy becoming overly dependent on China, thereby compromising its strategic autonomy. In December 2023, Italy made the decision to withdraw from the Belt and Road Initiative, citing a lack of significant economic benefits and growing concerns over China's expanding global presence. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who had previously expressed reservations about Italy's participation in the BRI, led this decision. Her administration viewed the partnership as a serious mistake and emphasized Italy's need to focus on its broader strategic interests. Despite exiting the BRI, Italy has reiterated its intention to maintain strong bilateral relations with China. Italian officials have pointed out that other G7 nations maintain robust trade relationships with China without being part of the BRI, suggesting that Italy could pursue similar avenues for engagement. China's response to Italy's withdrawal from the BRI was measured, with its foreign ministry expressing firm opposition to any actions that could damage cooperation under the initiative. This reaction indicates China's desire to continue its collaborative efforts with Italy, despite the shifting political landscape surrounding the BRI. Even though the two countries are no longer bound by the framework of the BRI, their commitment to nurturing strong economic ties remains steadfast. In fact, despite exiting the BRI, Italy continues to seek closer economic relations with China. In July 2024, Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni visited Beijing, where she met with Chinese President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang. During this visit, both nations signed a 3-year action plan designed to strengthen their comprehensive strategic partnership. This agreement places particular emphasis on sectors such as electric mobility, renewable energy, and sustainable development. Prime Minister Meloni stressed the importance of rebalancing trade relations, noting that Italian investments in China are 3 times greater than Chinese investments in Italy. She also advocated for the removal of obstacles that hinder Italian products from entering the Chinese market, aiming for a more equitable trade relationship between the two countries. Alongside their economic cooperation, cultural and academic exchanges continue to play a vital role in the relationship between China and Italy. In 2024, both countries commemorated the 700th anniversary of Marco Polo's travels, a symbolic moment underscoring the deep historical and cultural connections between the two nations. Cultural collaborations and academic partnerships continue to thrive, fostering mutual understanding and respect. These exchanges contribute to the shared heritage that has been cultivated over centuries of interaction. Italy's broader international trade strategy extends beyond China to include other important emerging markets, particularly within the BRICS nations, including India, Brazil, and the United Arab Emirates, UAE. Each of these relationships carries its own unique dynamics, contributing significantly to Italy's global economic footprint. For example, Italy's trade relations with India reached $14.34 billion in 2023, with India's exports to Italy valued at $9.16 billion, a decrease of 8.86% compared to 2022. Conversely, Italy's exports to India saw an increase of 7.69%, totaling $5.118 billion. This resulted in a trade surplus of $3.98 billion in favor of India. India's main exports to Italy include organic basic products, clothing, general-purpose machinery, precious metals, and various textile products. These statistics reflect the shifting patterns of trade and the growing importance of Italy's economic partnerships with countries across Asia and beyond. Italy's diverse trade relations with BRICS nations, combined with its strong ties to China, demonstrate the country's ongoing efforts to diversify its economic portfolio and maintain a competitive edge on the global stage. Despite some fluctuations in trade dynamics, Italy's commitment to building strong, mutually beneficial relationships with its global partners remains a cornerstone of its economic policy. In conclusion, the evolving relationship between China and Italy serves as a testament to the strength of historical connections and the importance of modern economic cooperation. While the two countries navigate the complexities of geopolitical issues, their shared interest in cultural exchange, academic collaboration, and economic growth continues to drive their partnership forward. As both nations adapt to new challenges and opportunities, the future of their relationship promises to be one of continued collaboration, mutual respect, and strategic engagement. On the other hand, Italy plays a significant role in global trade, particularly with countries like India, Brazil, and the UAE. Italy exports a variety of products, including machinery for textile, garment, and leather industries, along with general-purpose machinery, special-purpose machinery, and organic basic products. These exports have cemented Italy's position as an essential player in the international market. When it comes to trade with India, Italy ranks as the fourth largest trading partner in the European Union, following Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands. This growing economic relationship between Italy and India is evident in the consistent rise in trade volume. From January 2000 to December 2023, Italy became the 18th largest foreign investor in India, with a cumulative foreign direct investment (FDI) inflow totaling $3.53 billion. This investment reflects Italy's continued interest in strengthening ties with one of the world's most populous and fastest-growing economies. The economic ties between Italy and Brazil also deserve attention. In 2023, the trade volume between the two nations reached approximately $10.46 billion, a reflection of their strong economic relationship. Brazil's exports to Italy amounted to nearly $4.9 billion, making Italy the 15th largest destination for Brazilian products. On the other hand, Italy's exports to Brazil stood at around $5.5 billion, positioning Italy as Brazil's 7th largest source of imports. The key exports from Brazil to Italy include cellulose, accounting for 17%, coffee at 17%, crude oil at 6.8%, soy at 6.7%, and iron ore at 6.3%. Meanwhile, Italy's exports to Brazil are predominantly advanced manufactured goods, such as pharmaceuticals and machinery. However, it is important to note that a 2024 study raised concerns about the legality of Brazilian gold imports to European countries, particularly Italy. The study revealed that a significant portion of Brazilian gold imports into Italy, around 71%, and Germany were sourced from areas in the Amazon where illegal mining practices are rampant. This has led to increased environmental and ethical considerations, as the illegal mining operations pose significant threats to both the environment and local communities. Looking at Italy's trade relationship with the UAE, there has been remarkable growth in recent years. In 2022, bilateral trade reached an impressive $8.7 billion, marking a 19% increase from the previous year. Italian exports accounted for approximately $6.5 billion of this total, showcasing Italy's strong presence in the UAE market. By the first 10 months of 2022, trade between Italy and the UAE had already reached $7 billion, reflecting a 15.5% increase compared to the same period in 2021. This upward trend continued into 2023, with a 6% increase in bilateral trade in the first 10 months, bringing the total to $7.6 billion. Among Italy's primary exports to the UAE are jewelry, machinery, and agri-food products. In 2022, Italy exported nearly $1.1 billion worth of jewelry to the UAE, making it the third largest supplier in this sector. Additionally, Italy has solidified its position as a key supplier of packaging machinery to the UAE, with exports in this sector surging by 78.4% in the first half of 2024 compared to the same period in 2023, totaling 29.5 million. Despite these positive economic trends, Italy's position within the European Union has at times highlighted significant misalignments with the EU's broader policies. This raises questions about whether Italy might explore closer ties with Eastern nations, including potential collaboration with the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Italy faces numerous challenges related to structural economic issues, political divergences, and a national debt-to-GDP ratio exceeding 140%, one of the highest in the EU. These challenges often lead to clashes with the EU's strict budgetary frameworks, such as the Stability and Growth Pact. Additionally, Italy's slow GDP growth and high unemployment rates, particularly among the youth, have fostered dissatisfaction with the EU's economic policies. The immigration crisis has also been a contentious issue for Italy, as it bears a disproportionate share of asylum seekers arriving via the Mediterranean and often feels a lack of solidarity from other EU member states. Furthermore, Italy's reliance on traditional energy sources, such as oil and natural gas, conflicts with the EU's focus on renewable energy and its reduced dependency on fossil fuels. Italy's long-standing partnerships with oil-exporting nations are also a source of tension with the EU's green energy agenda. Under Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Italy has adopted a more nationalist and eurosceptic stance. While acknowledging the importance of Italy's role within the EU, Meloni's government frequently clashes with Brussels on issues ranging from migration policies to economic governance. This growing divergence between Italy and the EU raises the possibility that Italy may seek alternative alliances and partnerships outside the EU framework, particularly with Eastern nations and the BRICS bloc. From an economic standpoint, collaborating more closely with BRICS countries could open up new opportunities for Italy, particularly in terms of accessing vast markets in China and India for its high-end exports, such as luxury goods, machinery, and pharmaceuticals. Strengthening ties with BRICS could also reduce Italy's over-reliance on the EU market. In terms of energy security, Italy could benefit from partnerships with BRICS nations like Russia, which is a major supplier of natural gas, and Brazil, a key player in biofuels. These strategic energy alliances could help Italy diversify its sources and improve energy security. Italy's brief participation in China's Belt and Road Initiative, BRI, in 2019, underscored its interest in enhancing infrastructure and connectivity. Although Italy exited the BRI in 2023, it may still pursue strategic projects with BRICS countries to foster further development, particularly in areas like transportation infrastructure and green energy. Politically, alignment with BRICS could offer Italy greater leverage in global geopolitics by diversifying its alliances and reducing its dependency on the EU. Unlike the EU, BRICS does not impose strict policy frameworks, offering Italy more flexibility in pursuing its national interests. Technological and defense collaborations with BRICS nations, especially India and China, could also complement Italy's industrial strengths in these sectors. However, any potential alignment with BRICS is not without its challenges. Partnering with BRICS countries might strain Italy's relationships with traditional Western allies, including the United States and NATO, both of which are crucial to Italy's defense and economic stability. Geopolitical risks also arise in this context, particularly with Russia's ongoing conflict in Ukraine, which could expose Italy to sanctions or political backlash. Italy's commitments as an EU member state also limit its ability to make unilateral decisions, especially when engaging with nations that are seen as rivals to Western democracies. Rather than making a full pivot toward the East, Italy is more likely to adopt a dual alignment strategy. This would involve deepening trade and investment ties with BRICS countries, while maintaining its commitments to EU principles. By focusing on specific sectors like renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and infrastructure, Italy could collaborate with emerging economies without alienating its Western partners. Furthermore, strengthened relationships with Eastern nations could enhance Italy's negotiating position within the EU on crucial issues like fiscal policies and migration. In conclusion, Italy's evolving role in global politics reflects its search for a balance between its traditional Western alliances and emerging opportunities with Eastern economies. While a complete shift toward BRICS is unlikely, diversifying Italy's partnerships will likely become an increasingly strategic priority in the coming years. As Italy navigates the complexities of the global landscape, its ability to adapt and balance its economic, geopolitical, and energy interests will be crucial in shaping its future on the world stage. Finally, we would like to thank you for watching this video. Your support is invaluable to us, and we truly appreciate you joining us today. If you found our content insightful or inspiring, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel to stay connected with our community. Your engagement means a great deal to us, and we look forward to bringing you more informative content. Feel free to watch another video from our channel that's now on the screen. Thank you again for your support.